Hello everyone, this is Isra Yusuf and this is an English lesson for grade 8. This is actually a continuous for grade 8, which is unit 9, the Whit Batch of Courage. We're going to continue the novel, describing the novel and so on. This is actually an English lesson for grade 8 at Finnish Systems School. This is page 222. Now, the outcomes that I expect for students to have after this lesson is that to understand the text, able to be identify the new words, to put them, of course, into sentences, to be able to put them into sentences. So now, page 222, the Red Badge of Courage. We have talked about the Red Badge of Courage, and we have said that the Red Badge of Courage is a novel, which is describing for us the emotions of a soldier, the confusion, the conflict that a soldier is facing. Is he going to fight or is he going to be afraid? So he's facing, and it shows us the emotions that he's facing, that he is having, and his friends, what his friends with him, the other officers and the other soldiers. What they think about fighting and having a battle. So this is actually what it talks about. So the youth remained silent for a time. At last he spoke to the tall soldier. Jem. What? How do you think the Rigmit will do? Oh, they will fight all right, I guess, after they once get into it, said the other with cold judgment. So here we are having a conversation between the youth, which is Henry, and the tall soldier, which is Jem. Okay, the tall soldier. And here we have other soldier, which is which said, oh, they will fight all right, I guess, after they once get into it. There has been heaps of fun poked at him because they are new, of course, and all that, but they will fight all right, I guess. So they are talking about someone. They're talking about somebody, okay? Think any of the boys will run? Persisted the youth. Think any of the boys will run? Persisted the youth. Oh, there may be a few of them run, but there is them kind in every regiment, especially when they first goes under fire, said the other in a tolerant way. Of course, it might happen that the whole kit and bottle might start and run if some big fighting came first off, and then again they might stay and fight like fun. So here we're having conversation between three soldiers, which is the youth, Henry, the tall soldier, and the other soldier. We don't know who he is, okay? So the Henry starts asking the tall soldier, he starts speaking to him, saying, Jem. So Jem responds, what? How do you think the Rigmit will do? So he asked him, what do you think the Rigmit will do? And we said that Rigmit is a larger group of soldiers, okay? What do you think the Rigmit is they are going to do? So the other soldier answers, they will fight all right. He guesses that they are going to fight all right after they once get into it. Once they are getting into it, so they are going to do all right because they have no choice. So he said it in a cold judgment. He said it in a cold opinion, in a cold way. Okay, There has been heaps of fun poked at him because they are new. There are heaps, which is a large untidy pile of things. When you have like untidy things, okay, so they have like there has been heaps of fun. They were having like untidy ways of fun, untidy pile of fun, okay? Poked at him because they are new. So there were like heaps of fun about them. So there were like too many people talking about them, that they're not going to do well and so on because they are new. Of course, and all that, but they will fight all right, I guess. So after all that, like talking about them, that they are not going to do well, they're going to run and making joke about them. So, but he thinks that they are going to do all right. He guesses. He said it with a cold, opinioned, relieved way. Think any of the boys will run, persisted the youth. The youth asked, so he continues to ask something which is difficult, persisted the youth. Do you think that any of the boys is going to run? Oh, there may be a few of them run, he answers the other soldier. I think a few of them will do, but them kind in every regiment. But there's this kind in every regiment, the soldiers who escape from the battle, who run. Especially when they first goes under fire, especially when the fire starts, said the other in a tolerant way. Tolerant, which is allowing people to say what they believe and what they think about. Okay, so he said it in a way that this is what he believes in and what he thinks about. Of course, it might happen that the whole kit and bottle might start and run. That a kit is a set of objects, as in the toolkit, which is or what a soldier would put in his kit bag when a soldier put in his kit bag. Bottle is an archaic term meaning a group or collection, usually of people. Okay, so it might happen that the whole kit and bottle might start and run. If some big fighting came first off, and then again they might stay and fight like fun. So maybe they will stay and fight for fun, or maybe they were going to escape and run when the fire starts. So he's telling his what he's thinking about, and he, as you can see, the youth, which is Henry, he's asking, is any of them... is there a soldier who's going to escape from the battle? So he's asking this question. He's trying to say how many soldiers run from a battle, because he's thinking of quit fighting, because he's thinking of escaping from a battle, because he's too scared. But in some way, he don't want people to see him as the one who's afraid, who's coward, and so on. So, a kit which is, as you can see, this is a kit and bottle, which is for soldiers. Okay, which soldiers put some objects in that kit, and this is the bottle. Okay, like group of people. But you can't bet on nothing. Of course, they ain't never been under fire yet. And it ain't likely they'll lick the whole Ripple army all to onset the first time. But I think they'll fight better than some, if worse than other. Most of them will fight like sin after they once get shooting, he added. So... the other soldier keeps talking. Okay, he added, but you can't bet on nothing. But he's he's saying that you can't bet on nothing. So you can't say, you can't challenge on something, but you don't know it, okay? Of course, they ain't never have under fire yet. Of course, they are new, and they have never been under fire. And it ain't likely they'll lick the whole Ripple army. It ain't likely they're going to fight against the people, against the army, all to answer the first time. In the first time they have. So, of course, they're not going to fight. They're not going to fight perfectly against the other authority, the other people, in a perfect way, because it is the first time. But I think they'll fight better than some. But he thinks that they are these new people. They're going to fight better than some old ones, and so on. If worse than others. Most of them will fight like sin after they once get shooten, he added. So most of them are going to fight. They are going to fight like they are, even if they are if they get shooten, they will still keep fighting. Oh, you think you know, began the loud soldier with a scorn. Oh, you think you know. So he said it with a scorn, which is the feeling that you think the one you're talking about is stupid. He's stupid. Oh, you think you know. The other turned savagely upon him. They had a rapid altercation in which they fastened upon each other various strange epithets. So, the other, he turned savagely. He turned in a way which is in a savage way. They had a rapid altercation, which is a short argument. They had a short argument in which they fastened upon each other various strange epithets. They were having a short, noisy argument describing someone. To say that something is unpleasant about them, okay? The youth at last interrupted them. So the youth interrupted them. Did you ever think you might run yourself, Jim? So he asked him. So he interrupts the argument between the two soldiers, and he asks him. Did you ever think you might run yourself, Jim? He asked. On concluding the sentence, he laughed as if he meant to aim a joke. So he was asking this question as he is going to saying, as he is aiming a joke. The loud soldier also giggled. Which is to laugh quietly with a high voice. Okay, so the youth interrupted the argument. Okay, and he asked Jim a question. Did you ever think you might run yourself, Jim? And he said it in a way that he is aiming for a joke, like he is trying to be funny. So the loud soldier giggled. The loud soldier laughed in a high voice, in a high tone, loudly. The tall private waved his hand. Well, said he profoundly, said extremely. So the tall waved his hand as saying, well, profoundly, extremely. I thought it might get too hot for James Conklin in some of them scrimmages, and if a whole lot of boys started and run, why, I suppose I'd start and run. I'd run like the devil. But if everybody was a-standing and a-fighting, why, I'd stand and fight. Be Gemini, I would. I'll bet on it. So, The tall soldier waved his hand, saying, "Well, in an extremely way. I have thought it might get too hot for Jim Conklin in some of them scrimmage, in some of them fighting." Okay, he's saying about Jim, so he's talking about Jim. So he thought that Jim is that it might get too hot for Jim in some fights, and if a whole lot of boys started and run, why, I suppose I'd start and run. So he's saying that in a battle, if a lot of boys started to escape and run, so he would start to run too. But he's saying that if he saw like a lot of his colleagues running, so he's going to run too, and he would run like the devil. But if everybody was standing and fighting, so he says that he's going to continue standing, continue fighting against too. So, said the loud one. He said. The author of this tale felt gratitude for these words of his comrade. So Henry felt grateful for these words of his comrade, which is the friend of him, who's facing danger, as he is. He had feared that all of the untried men possessed a great and correct confidence. He now was in a measure reassured. So this Henry felt grateful for these words from his friend, his friend, which is from his comrade, his friend in danger, who is the tall soldier. He had feared that all of the untried men possessed, that all of these men, they were possessed, they were controlled by, they were controlled greatly, and they had a correct confidence. Now he now was in a measure of reassured. Now he is making some, now he's feeling like calmer. He is less worried. He's less frightened about what he was thinking about, that he is going to run from a battle if he felt scared. So this is actually what he's trying to deliver for us, that this soldier Henry, the youth, was feeling so frightened, was feeling so confused. So the lesson has ended. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to study well for your exam, and check your weekly plans because they are useful. Please stay safe. This is your teacher, Isra Youssef. And if you have any question, please ask. I'm waiting for your questions. If you have something that needs to be explained, so please, you have the number of school. Contact them so that they can contact me. So this is your teacher. Bye bye.